Hi friends, welcome to week 18 and week 8 of distance learning. I hope you had a nice Monday off of school this week. Um, we are kind of having an exciting week because we get to start learning about the Civil War and we are going to start our movie, The Blue and the Gray. We're going to have a movie guide or some notes that are going to go along with our movie, so we're not just watching the movie. And we're going to kind of split it up over a couple of weeks because it is a very long movie. If we were watching it in class, it would take us about 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks to get through, okay? So today, Tuesday, you are doing the story of us, Edpuzzle, on the Civil War. So this is just kind of a whole overview of what happens in the Civil War, some of the causes leading up to it, the breakout of the Civil War, and things like that. Wednesday, it is super important that you join our Google Meet on Wednesday, okay? We are going to start our digital notebooks, and I'm going to walk you through how to set that up. And then I am going to give you notes. So we're going to do notes as a class on Wednesday. So you know exactly what you should write down in the beginning of your digital notebook, and I'll help you and I'll walk you through some of that, okay? If you miss our Wednesday Google Meet, it might be a little bit confusing, but I also created a screencast here of me teaching the notes, so you can utilize that on Wednesday if you need that, or if you miss it and you have to go back, that is linked there, okay? Here's where you're going to make the copy of your digital notebook. Like I said, we're going to use this and the movie The Blue and the Gray throughout our unit on the Civil War. We're not going to turn in our digital notebook until we're 100% finished, so it's just going to be in your Google Drive, and that's where you're going to access it every day. And each day on our Google Meet, I'll kind of review where we're at and go over some things so we're all kind of on the same page, and I'll give you directions for that day on which part of the movie you're going to watch and which slides to complete and things like that. It's really important that you join our Google Meets every day because it'll really help you stay on track. And it's just way easier for me to give you directions right then and there and explain things to you and show you things versus you just trying to figure it out on your own. So this is what our digital notebook looks like. It's made in Google Slides, okay? And as we go through, so all these first slides are notes that we're going to do together on that day one, okay? So we're going to do some fill in the blank notes together on day one, and I'll explain some of this stuff. And then when we get to slide number 12 is when you're going to actually start the Blue and the Gray. And I'll kind of set you up for that before we start it and talk about historical fiction. And I'll talk about which slides we're going to do in our digital notebook as we watch the Blue and the Gray. In Schoology, you'll notice that the Blue and the Gray videos are not in a weekly folder, so they're not in week 18. They're actually in their own folder. And the reason I did this is because we're going to use this over multiple weeks. So you'll see it right here. It's underneath week 18, but we're also going to use this for week 19 and for week 20. So that's why I didn't put it in a weekly folder. I left it out in its own folder so you could see it easily. So if you click on that, you'll see the different videos. They're split up into multiple parts because they are very long. So Mrs. Bryan actually is the one that put them into Edpuzzle for us. That's why it says that. So disc 1 has 2 parts to it, and then there are disc 2 and disc 3. Okay, so multiple hours of this movie that we're going to watch and kind of break down together as a class as we learn about the Civil War.